and welcome to this short recording on available support for learners within the UEA and the support that's available in regards to finance. This is part of a short series called A Conversation On, and I'm really glad to say that I've been joined by Naomi Thorpe this morning to discuss finance support that's available to yourselves as learners. Naomi, could you just introduce yourself to the group, please?
Of course. Thank you, Tom. So, as Tom said, my name is Naomi Thorpe, and I work in the Student Life team. We're part of Student Services, so we're based in the Wherry building on campus, which is between the library and the Students' Union. But we also offer virtual appointments as well. And within Student Life specifically, we have a Student Life finance team who can provide financial advice and also direct support to anybody studying at and learning with UEA.
Fantastic. And just to give a little bit more detail on my background myself, I'm an adult nurse, and I'm part of the NDA program, Nursing Degree Apprenticeships, and I'm also lead advisor across trainee nursing associates and nursing degree apprentices as well, and hence the reason for creating these recordings, and really grateful for your support, Naomi.
No worries, no worries.
So we've tried to design a quite sort of bite-sized approach to how we create this content, and we're going through a three-step process on each occasion, considering the what, the why, and the how. So what financial support is available, why may you need to access it, and ultimately how can you access that support. So that's what we'll be looking to do next, and I'll just move across to the next slide, and we'll consider together what financial support is available to learners.
Yeah, thank you for that introduction. So the key thing to highlight is that I'm going to be talking about support from the Student Life Finance team directly. You may well have other sources of financial support available to you, and we can advise on things beyond the direct financial support from our team. But in terms of the what, I'll be focusing on the direct financial support from Student Life Finance. It's also worth saying that in the how section, I'll show you how, funnily enough, to access these facilities. So please don't worry if you want a refresher, because we will come on to that. The key thing to say is that within Student Life Finance, as I said, we provide support for students who may be experiencing financial difficulty. And there are three main sources of financial support that we provide. The first is an emergency loan facility. So this is where you can borrow up to £300 interest-free from UEA to pay back at a later date. And this is really for, one-off or emergency expenditures that may come about unexpectedly. The other thing that we offer is a student services fund, and this is where we can do an assessment of your overall financial situation to see if you're eligible for a non-repayable grant. So it's worth saying as well that for all of the finance support available, there is certain eligibility criteria, and so
Sure.
it's really important that you have a read of that before applying. But the Student Services Fund is aimed to look at your financial situation holistically and see if you might be eligible for a grant. And then the final piece of direct financial support we can offer is a travel and tech facility, which you can apply to if you're having issues either with funding travel to enable you to engage with your course and with your studies, or if there is a piece of tech that you perhaps require, if your laptop breaks, etc., then we're able to, at the advisor's discretion, make contributions towards those. So those are the three sort of direct forms of financial support that we provide. And Tom, I don't know if you have any questions or thoughts or comments on
Yeah.
those specifically.
Yeah, the primary one that comes to mind is obviously this content will be viewed by not only direct entry students but also by apprentices as well.
Mhm.
Is it fair to say that that support is available upon review for apprentices as well as students?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is other eligibility criteria
Sure.
relating to if you have any debts outstanding to UEA and that sort of thing.
Mm.
But yes, it's very apprentices are very much welcome to apply if they're eligible for any of those facilities, and or approach us in Student Life Finance directly if you've got questions about your financial circumstance or need any support.
Yeah.
We also, in terms of what finance support is available, we offer appointments face to
Mm.
face or via Teams, and lots of information and resources on our section of My UEA, which I'll show you shortly. But yes, you're very welcome to see what is available, and what you might like to apply for if it would be helpful.
Fantastic. I think the takeaway message there is if in doubt, just ask and know how
Yeah,
to ask, and that's what we'll move on to as we look further through the sort of slides that we have here. I
absolutely.
mean, obviously you've given some really helpful information there about the types of support that is available.
Mhm.
Um, just to add a bit of context, why do you think people may reach out to the finance team for guidance and support?
So the first thing I'd say is that we are a non-judgmental space. People can find themselves in financial difficulty for all sorts of reasons. I could do a whole podcast on the reasons why our team exists, but
Mm.
I'll try and be concise. The first reason is unexpected costs. You know, if you have a car that breaks down and you suddenly have to, fork out a couple of £100 to pay for that. There's all sorts of unexpected expenses that can impact anybody, whether you are studying, whether you are an apprentice, whether you are earning a wage, whether you are not. People still get caught off guard.
Mm.
So that's one key reason. The other thing, though, that we are seeing more and more, and it's not a phrase I like because it's been thrown around a lot over the last few years, but is the cost of living.
Sure.
So, I mean, even on the screen that's in front of us, it's got raspberries that are £3.20. So the cost of living generally is a reason that people might come to our team for support. It could be that what you are earning or what you are in receipt of financially in terms of your income just is not meeting your outgoing costs, and that's very common and very understandable. So we want to make sure that the bigger picture as to why our team exists is to try and enable learners to engage with their studies, with their course as best as possible, and for finance to not be a barrier to that, regardless of the circumstances. So again, it links back to what you said, Tom, about if in doubt, ask and reach out. And regardless of your circumstance, don't hesitate to contact us, because we operate in a very neutral, non-judgmental way regarding finances.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, i I think the common theme across all of the support services is that we want the best experience possible for all of our learners.
Yeah.
And life can throw, these curveballs at you, and in one moment your circumstances can change, and it's
Mm,
just knowing that you're not on your own.
mm,
And if you just sort of lift your head and look around at the support that's available to you, then we want the best for you,
yeah,
and that's why these services are available.
yeah,
And I think that
absolutely.
moves us really nicely on to the how, because it's one of the most important elements of these discussions is that we can know kind of what is available, we can know why I may need support, but it's often quite challenging to then find it if you're not familiar with some of the different systems that are at hand. So
Yeah,
if I kind of give you control of the slides, Naomi, and if you could just
yeah.
take us on to My UEA and just show the group where to find those resources.
Of course, yeah. Hopefully, you will be able to see what
Mhm.
my screen. So I've come
Yeah.
on to this is just the main My UEA web page here. So the best way to find our pages is just to start to search Student Life finance in the
Hmm.
search bar, press enter, and it's the first page that pops up, which
Yeah.
will take you to our main landing page. Um,
Mhm.
I'm not going to go through line by line what's on every page, but it's just so that you have an idea as to where to go. So this takes you to our own page. We've got a link to a financial wellbeing podcast that was recorded a little while ago. What I will focus on first is in the financial support page. If you click here, this is where the links are to the 3 direct financial support services that I mentioned earlier. So if you click on any of these, it will take you through to the appropriate page. So I've just clicked on the Student Services Fund one there.
Hmm.
All of these have a statement of expectations embedded within the page, which is really important to read before applying to make sure that you understand what the facility is about and how to apply. And then again, on every page, there is an application form at the bottom. And for the Student Services Fund, we've also made a video just explaining about the
Great.
process, if you prefer that to reading the information on the statement of expectations.
Hmm.
But hopefully it's from that landing page. And if I go back to our finance homepage here, it's fairly easy to navigate. You will also see that there is information on different sources of funding,
Yeah.
a finance FAQs page. We've got a very useful, which I will just show you, budgeting and debt support page as well. And we are
Great.
holding budgeting workshops on campus in February, and the sign up form is there. So if you're ever stuck or not quite sure what page you've ended up on, or not quite sure what support you're after, then you can always email us. And I think, Tom, you're going to include our email in when this video is uploaded, so that you've got it there. But it's studentlife.finance@uea.ac.uk. So
Hmm.
you're always encouraged to get in touch with us if needed.
Hmm. That's fantastic. And as
Okay.
you say, those sort of 3 core elements of financial support that are available are there,
Yep.
and on hand, as well as your contacts there as well. So
Yeah.
it's just a case of reaching out, isn't it? I think building that rapport with
Absolutely.
your advisor. If you're ever in doubt about who to reach out to, I think your advisor is a really good starting point, and then
Yeah.
the conversation can always ebb and flow from there.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned at the beginning, at the middle, and I'll also mention at the end, is much appreciation for not only the support that you've offered in recording this with me, but also the support that yourself and the team offer our learners, so that they get through their sort of learning experience in the best possible manner. So thank you.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
All right, lovely. So I think we'll end the recording there, ready to share with the group. And
Mhm.
if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in contact with those emails that we'll share when presenting these videos. Many thanks. All the best.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.